Hello everyone, welcome back. Last time we started covering the main event stories with Divergent Chessboard, and now we move on to the next event, Visitors Died in Red. Fortunately, this one is more interconnected with the overarching plot, taking place not long after the Battle of Midway in Chapter 3 of the main campaign, and kickstarts the Sakura subplot of the story. So, let's get started. In an infinite cycle of rebirths, time has lost its meaning. Where the probable and improbable collide, all ephemerals are swept up in flames. If it wasn't for that lone encounter, might there be an alternate ending? Is that you, my creator? If I may so ask. Oh, my creator. A pair of shipgirls are sailing through a storm. It's strong, and one believes they will be annihilated if they attempt to ride it out. The other reminds her they've committed at this point, but if they push through a little more, they'll break through. The first detects an unknown enemy and orders evasive manoeuvres. The second questions the appearance of enemies in such a storm and asks for coordinates, but is met with silence. She tries again. "Answer me, Shokaku. Where are its coordinates?" But the silence persists. Eventually Shokaku responds with broken up words telling her to get out of here. She's losing radio contact and things are not looking good, and any disappointment over not being able to fight the grey ghost is cut short by a light. Zuikaku eventually comes to. She can't radio her sister or remember what happened, but she pulls herself together. She has finally made it to the sanctuary. The sea is entirely encompassed by the storm, looking like a graveyard for those that sought this sanctuary. Zuikaku muses that had she not been so lucky, she may have joined them. This place unnerves her, but she refocuses on establishing contact with her sister. Zuikaku finds herself in a fight with a fleet of mass-produced ships before encountering Akatsuki. She has been worried about her since they got separated in the storm and asked for assistance in fighting off the fleet so they may reconvene. Any hope of that is dashed when Akatsuki fires on Zuikaku. She is not Akatsuki, but rather a siren pawn of her, and Zuikaku vows to free her from this curse before launching an airstrike. Akagi and Kaga observe from elsewhere. She has taken the bait, and all sanctuary systems are nominal. Kaga calls Zuikaku persistent, yet naive, before stating those who oppose the creator must pay for their ignorance with their lives. Akagi suggests giving her a surprise. The creator has gifted them with a new weapon that Akagi wishes to test. All those who get in the way of Akagi and the creator must be punished. Back with Zuikaku, she detects a distress signal after fighting her way through more pawns. Believing it to be Shokaku, she rushes after it only to be met by Issei and Hyuga. Her hopes that they were safe from being turned into pawns are dashed when they respond with only silence, and so she prepares to fight. Following the battle, Zuikaku reflects on what led her to Sanctuary, finding its key on Akatsuki's intel and showing it to Shokaku, causing her to mobilize in an attempt to expose Akagi and Kaga for who they truly are. Thinking back, it may have been a trap for the 5th Carrier Division set by their seniors in the 1st. Zuikaku progresses forth until she is stopped by Yamashiro. She is real but has been ordered to stop Zuikaku, asking her to stand down. Zui responds by demanding to know where her sister is, but Yamashiro refuses, telling her if she wishes to know she'll have to beat her. Zui laments that all her superiors are such a pain to deal with and engages Yamashiro, cutting off her warning, / gushing, about her aviation battleship retrofit before she can finish. Yamashiro surrenders, and when asked if she was holding back, she denies it, inadvertently spilling the secret that Shokaku is being held within the deepest part of Sanctuary. As Zuikaku thanks her and begins to take her leave, Yamashiro calls out, asking her to wait and pleads with her to, "Please, save our future. Those girls aren't all bad." After a moment of silence, Zuikaku replies, "She will." Kaga makes note that Zuikaku is headed for the sculpture room, causing Akagi to grow frustrated. She rants about them meddling in things that aren't their concern, and not understanding the magnificence of the creator's plans. Kaga tells her to cool it. So long as the original does not awaken, all will be fine, and they opt to send out a distraction. Nawaki is that distraction, and her appraisal of her target is that she seems awfully strong, She is not the kind to engage in face-to-face combat. Zuikaku apologizes. She doesn't have time to play with her. Naoki attempts to psych herself up. She is also strong and has fought Carrot before. She can probably do this. She in fact cannot, and is defeated by Zuikaku, who asks she tell her everything she knows. Naoki does so, informing her she had gotten lost and wandered in here, meeting some strange people who were researching technology from their creator in an attempt to turn the war in their favour. This all lines up with Zui's intel, and she asks Naoki to come with her. The more support she has, the better, but Naoki refuses. She cannot go against their will. Even if the creator is a lie, they gave her hope, so even if it's the wrong path, she won't deviate. Zuikaku wishes her good luck. Continuing to reflect, Zuikaku thinks back to the Battle of Coral Sea, where she recklessly underestimated her opponents and was caught off guard, with Shokaku ordering her to take cover in a storm while she drew their attention. She would always protect her as her older sister, but admonishes her not to underestimate the enemy. Zuikaku vows not to let that happen to her sister again. Zuikaku finally reunites with her sister, but the reunion quickly turns sour. It's a pawn, and Zuikaku demands to know why Akagi and Kaga are doing this. Akagi explains that exquisite sacrifices are needed, so that the creator will continue granting them with his blessing. With Kaga clarifying what they do is for the good of the Sakura Empire. Zuikaku doesn't buy it. She asks them how many times they think they can fool people with that. It doesn't just end with lying to their people, but experimenting on them too. This power is not a gift from the gods, it will not save them. All this has done is confirm her suspicion, that now that Shokaku has become a victim of their schemes, she is furious. Akagi just giggles and asks if she's thought about how she will fight the opponent before her. She has already offered Shokaku's soul to the creator, and will do just the same to her. The Shokaku pawn is defeated, and Kaga, who seemingly expected this, begins an attack on Zuikaku. Zuikaku is unable to move, but is surprised to find the Shokaku pawn has taken the attack for her. The Shokaku pawn speaks about how it promised it would always protect its little sister. Kaga is confused how a pawn could defy them, but Akagi instead seems intrigued. Even a pawn will rush to defend those they love. Kaga surmises that this was an awakening response brought on by memories, and Akagi suggests they retreat. Their top priority now is to report to the creator that a pawn has awoken. Zuikaku goes to give chase but is stopped by someone asking if it is her. Zuikaku turns to find the real Shokaku and worriedly asks what Akagi did to her. Shokaku doesn't know. She feels like she's just woken up from a long dream, but she feels fine. She apologizes to her sister for making her worry, and Zuikaku apologizes in return. She is still the same immature, reckless and short-sighted person she was before. Shokaku is just happy her sister is safe and well, reminding her that she is the only one who can defeat the enemy that is upon them. Shokaku reminds her she will always be by her sister's side protecting her, and tells her to always look forward confidently, staying true to herself and their goals, before telling her to give chase, to stop Akagi and Kaga from sullying the Sakura Empire's future. Akagi has sent the logs to the creator, and now they wait for their superior's arrival. Kaga notices Zuikaku's pursuit and informs Akagi, asking what they should do. They were given their orders and carried them out, so it won't hurt if they play with their pursuer a bit. Before they fight, Zuikaku asks a question for the 1st Carrier Division. Akagi and Kaga were sunk at Midway, so who are they? Akagi responds that they are what she sees, and that within the sanctuary they wield, quote, unlimited power, so long as they keep sacrificing souls to the creator. Zuikaku argues no god would demand sacrifices. She won't be able to defeat the Grey Ghost with this twisted power. Akagi immediately becomes angry at that name, demanding Zuikaku never mention it in her presence, but Zui continues to press the Enterprise button, claiming if she can't face the Grey Ghost with that power, she will have no future. Akagi flies into a rage hearing that name being repeated and screams she will destroy her herself. Kaga tells Zuikaku she shouldn't have did that before demanding she fight and prove her strength. They fight and Zuikaku manages to push them back somewhat before a break in the action. Akagi basks in the glorious light from clashing souls, imploring the creator to grace her with his attention, for this is the light of the awakening he desires. She finds it beautiful, yet so frail, and can't help wanting to crush it within her grasp before descending into laughter. Kaga thought this would happen and states this is where their plan comes to an end. The first Karadiv depart in search for a new sanctuary. Zuikaku attempts to chase after them and finish the fight, but is stopped by a voice from the sanctuary systems. The eradication sequence has been activated and all personnel are to evacuate. Kaga speaks out to her sisters in arms, telling them that everything in this world has its cause and effect. They must always look for other possibilities within this endless cycle of death and rebirth. It is why they conducted the experiments in Sanctuary, and hopes that one day they will understand, but until that time comes, may the gods watch over them. Tester informs Observer that the simulation at Test Site Gamma has concluded. Observer doesn't think too highly of the place, but is intrigued by the Shokaku pawn experiencing something akin to an awakening. They had thought they were in control of everything, but now that seems to be a lie. Observer questions whether this is a true awakening, as it fails to meet the trigger conditions. Tester doesn't know, but discards any notion of an emotional response, thinking of emotions from a purely biological perspective. Still, she notes the quality of the acquired data, and that the creator seems to take a liking to these girls. This upsets Observer slightly, who claims that this is just his way of playing a joke on them. The data shows the girls still need more experience before they face each other, and so, the parameters are increased, and the next round of tests is set to begin. And that's it for Visitors Dyed in Red. All in all, a step up from the previous event. It sets up the future conflict between Akagi and the other Sakura ships, and introduces some key players with the 5th Carrier Division. Keeps the story in motion compared to Divergent Chessboard, which was largely isolated and with not a whole lot going on in comparison to Visitors. If there's a next time, we start the meta subplot with Fallen Wings. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.